Now to our other breaking story, this one overseas. The Israeli military launching airstrikes against Iran. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the strike targeted Iran's nuclear program. Tonight, Iran's armed forces promising a heavy response to Israel's attack. The State Department is advising employees at the U.S. Embassy in Israel and their families to shelter in place. NBC Bay Area's Jocelyn Moran joins us in studio with the late-breaking details.
Garvin, the Trump administration making it clear the U.S. is not involved in these strikes against Iran, adding that Israel acted unilaterally. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying, quote, Iran should not target U.S. interests or personnel.
It happened in the middle of the night, early Friday morning, explosions booming across Tehran. Israel saying it took aim at Iran's nuclear programs and scientists. Iran state media reporting Iran's most senior military official was killed. In an address tonight, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announcing that Israel launched a, quote, targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat.
This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat.
The Trump administration stressing the U.S. is not involved in the action. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio in a statement said, quote, we are not involved in strikes against Iran and our top priority is protecting American forces in the region. Let me be clear, Iran should not target U.S. interests or personnel. The U.S. Embassy warning all U.S. government employees and their families in Israel to shelter in place until further notice. Israel imposing a limited state of emergency, telling people to follow state orders to stay inside as it braces for a potential missile or a drone strike from Iran or one of its allies. Tonight, Iran is vowing to respond. In a statement, Iran's supreme leader says in part, quote, with this crime, the Zionist regime has brought a bitter and painful fate upon itself, and it will certainly face it. Javed Ali is an associate professor at the University of Michigan and a former senior U.S. government counterterrorism official. He believes Iran will at least attempt to respond, but how much things could escalate depends on how Iran responds.
Iran has a significant amount of capabilities at its disposal, despite the fact it's at a relatively weakened state or weaker state. And some of these capabilities they haven't used yet against Israel. And this is something that could, if some of these capabilities that haven't been used are used, then I could see this situation really escalating and spiraling out of control.
And in New York, the police department said out of an abundance of caution, they're deploying additional resources to Jewish, Israeli, and other sites throughout New York City. We reached out to San Francisco police. The department says officers are making passing calls by places of worship and other community centers that have expressed concerns. Garvin.
Jocelyn, thank you very much.